devotees. And sorry, I didn't feel like interrupting the Katha saying, no. Time. I didn't feel like doing that, but what to do? Yeah, sorry, Jagannath Mataji. Yeah. And yes, Vrindrani Mataji, I got the question. Topic is elevated. आपका question तो super elevated का है. But those are such purified topics. Well, that anything, this is like, wow. And, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Namo Mahavadanyaya, very magnanimous, very merciful, very munificent. We actually don't know what that means. We really don't know. Because the basic understanding is we are just so fallen. We don't even want to love Krishna. But Nitai, Gaura, and Nitai, who is distributing Krishna prema everywhere. So they're running behind us to give that prema for Krishna. That's the basic understanding. That also, we have a little difficulty even to understand that part, the basic one. And on top of that, not just that, that is like only a surface. Surface layer of the ocean is that understanding. There's Parama Karuna, Paudui, Jana, Nitai, Gaurachanda. They are running behind these conditioned souls to give Krishna prema. That is only a surface layer on the ocean of what they're giving. If we have difficult to understand and acknowledge that surface layer, what can we even fathom? What's happening here with Ramananda Raya? There is no scripture. There are no merciful personalities like Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Gaura Priyajana, Shri Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami, Srila Prabhupada. The Acharya knows this is in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This will come into the hands of, in so-called Srila Prabhupada's words, rascals, yeah. This will come in the hands of rascals. He knows that. Acharya knows that. Still, they let it happen. Still, the Acharya let it happen. It has to come out. This is a glimpse of the depth of that ocean of what most beneficent, most magnanimous, most merciful Gaura is giving, Nita is distributing these topics that we cannot understand. But that platform is the depth of the ocean. We can't comprehend the surface of the ocean. What can we speak of depth of ocean? So that is this matter. So this is not something that can be explained in words. And that's why I had to give these analogies and state where we are and where those topics are. It is so super beautiful because, in the spiritual realm, everything is so pure. Oh, so pure. It's just Shuddha Sattva. So pure. Everything is pure there. Every expression is pure. Intention is pure. Bodies are made of rasa. They are pure. Everything is so pure and blissful. On that platform is Sri Raya Ramananda, Vishaka Sakhi, with the manjaris. Vishaka Sakhi with the manjaris. So that's the platform he's on. I think what we can understand better about the spiritual body. Actually, Srila Prabhupada, what did he say? Yeah. Acharya said, on that platform, when the speaker is on such platform, and when hearer is on such platform, that is Raja. Everybody else, even if they're not on the platform, they will, because of the potency of the speaker and hearer, the rest of the audience, they will at least get end up thinking, oh my goodness, I'm really good for nothing. There is something going on here that I can't even comprehend. That will happen. Even if they don't understand that subject matter, everybody will definitely feel like that when the speaker is on the platform and the hearer also. Like, Srimad Bhagavatam, the speaker is Sukadeva Goswami and the hearer is Parikshit Maharaj, who would not budge a bit, move from there. No eating, drinking, sleeping, nothing. And is relishing, drinking Krishna Katha with such eagerness and great faith. It's very similar to Sukadeva Goswami is actually giving the spiritual body to Parikshit Maharaj as he's speaking. And Parikshit Maharaj's spiritual body is forming within as he is hearing the Vani from Sukadeva Goswami. That's what was happening that 7 days. Parikshit Maharaj did not have that spiritual body before. He offered respects to all the sages that were present to Ganga Devi, Gangecha Devi, Dodachittamisha. Takshakova. The Takshaka may come anytime and bite me, but you all sages, you Ganga Devi, I am seeking blessings from all of you. And then he sat on the bank of Ganges, and Sukadev Goswami came, and then Parikshit Maharaj offered himself totally to Sukadev Goswami and sat there. So he was, for Parikshit Maharaj, this is it. The world is all about Sukadev Goswami and what's coming from his lotus mouth. Nothing else existed for Parikshit Maharaj, either outside or inside. Nothing existed for him outside. And inside also, nothing existed for him. Not his mind, not his intelligence, not his ego, not his material body, nothing. It's simply Sukadeva Goswami. It's like, when in a cup, in an empty cup, if the guru is starting to pour the nectar, of an empty cup, eagerly waiting empty cup, what happens when the guru is starting to pour the honey? The cup gets filled, because there's no more kachra there, no kachra. Great faith and eagerness to receive the honey, the nectar coming. The cup is eagerly waiting. So an empty cup with no spiritual body, as the nectar, as the honey is being poured by the speaker Sukadeva Goswami, the cup of Parikshit Maharaj is filled with the nectar, honey, rasa. Rasa, specifically rasa, in the tattva is packed rasa. So all that was coming and sitting in this cup of Parikshit Maharaj. By the end of that 7 days, that cup is not an ordinary cup anymore. It's not an empty cup. It's not an ordinary cup. The rasa that Sukadeva Goswami, the tattva and rasa that Sukadeva Goswami had inside of him is poured into Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah. And that's how Parikshit Maharaj now has his spiritual body. That is all that honey that is present in the cup. So when the Takshaka came, and even before the Takshaka came and bit Parikshit Maharaj, what can he do to the cup? At the most, he can bite the cup or break the cup, but the rasa is already, the spiritual body is already formed. When the spiritual body is already formed, Parikshit Maharaj is already in the spiritual realm. What can the poison of a takshaka do to the mortal frame? What difference does it make if the mortal frame falls apart or if it is there? Nothing. The spiritual body is formed. This is the goal of our life. This is the purpose of this mortal frame. This is the purpose of this mortal frame. It should be completely emptied inside. Like that. Empty, clean, empty cup of Parikshit Maharaj. So, Sukadeva Goswami, Sri Guru, can fill us in that tattva and rasa which makes the spiritual body. So, yeah, this is not imagination, and this is not theory only. This had made into the books, and Acharya is letting us hear because it's a possibility for the hearers. Not imagination, not just theory, but a possibility. A possibility for the hearers. All those who are hearing this topic this is a possibility for every hearer. It cannot be categorized as a topic somewhere in the Disneyland on the shelf, and that's not for us. Let's meddle with our Anartha Nivritti and get stuck here. No. So, very much possible. Why is it very much possible? Yeah. Why was it possible for Parikshit Maharaj? Did he come up with a plan of how to get a spiritual body? No. He emptied himself totally within. That's the only thing that sadhaka has to do. Empty yourself totally within. Then, sadhu guru, they pour the tattva and rasa together in the form of that honey. So it is possible because of this. Our role is emptying ourselves from within. Sirf wahi, nothing more to do. The rest of it is they do it. And the honey, Krishna, the Nama is Krishna himself. Nama is Krishna himself. So that is poured by Sri Guru into us with the tattva and rasa of the Nama. And that's how the spiritual body forms. And that's why it is very much possible for a Sharanagata Sishya who is doing that kind of Shravana where one has emptied himself or herself totally within. So that's a possibility. Not an imagination, not a theory only, but it's a possibility. Okay? And how does it look like? When somebody has a spiritual body, how does it look like? See, Raya Ramananda's, it is too far for us to understand. Let's take the spiritual body of Srila Haridasa Thakura. Srila Haridasa Thakura, it is the spiritual body that was in action when he was being beaten up in those marketplaces. 1, 2 marketplaces, when somebody is beaten like that, and the mortal frame was people die. They have to just fall unconscious and die, that's all. But what happened to Sri Haridasa Thakura? Mortal frame is there, mortal body is there. But Haridasa Thakura did not quit his body yet. Why? Spiritual body is in full action. Mortal frame is falling apart. The soul doesn't have to leave the body because it is in ecstasy. Spiritual body is in ecstasy. And the mortal frame on the body are the whip marks, not just whip marks, the skin is falling, and flesh is also falling, and wounds are bleeding. Wounds are bleeding, and bone is seen. Repeated whip marks, and the whip injury repeatedly broke the skin, broke the flesh, broke the muscle, unable to break the bone, so bone is being visible. Those are the whip marks on Srila Haridasa Thakura. And what is his mood? What is his mood inside Haridasa Thakura? First of all, is he feeling the pain? For somebody who would just die by that time, he's not even feeling the pain. Then what is happening inside? Is it just about the mortal frame, this material body? No, there is something happening inside. So much so that only the inside, the internal spiritual body is in action throughout that Leela. So the emotions that Srila Haridasa Thakura had towards those who are whipping him, what were his feelings? Was think, oh Krishna, please excuse them. They're doing it because they have to do it. It was order given to them. Very kindly excuse them. Those are the emotions. We have to remember, in these purified souls, where everything is purified, transcendental bodies, there is no material mind, intelligence, ego. There will not be there. They are absent. Like Parikshit Maharaj, how he emptied himself totally from inside. There is no material mind, ego, for intelligence. All this software is trashed. It's just empty inside. Zero free will, zero corrupted software, zero. That's what emptying inside means. So, where are these feelings coming from that Haridasa Thakura has? From the spiritual body, from the spiritual mind. Because the faculty of mind is thinking, feeling, and willing. And what is Haridasa Thakura thinking and feeling and willing at that time? He's thinking, oh, these 2 soldiers, they are beating me up. Yeah. What is he feeling? He's only feeling. For these 2 soldiers, he was feeling such great compassion. Ayayo, you had to do this because you had to get the order. I pray that you should not get any sin at all. No. You shouldn't be suffering at all for what you're doing. And what is his willing? Krishna, 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 please you forgive them. Yeah. You please give them Krishna prema. This is the functionality of the mind, spiritual mind, on those 2 living entities. And what is the intelligence? The pinnacle of intelligence is Tavai Vasmi Sharanagati. And what is the ahamkara there? There is no ahamkara there. There is mamakara. Ahamkara is replaced by Mamakara. Krishna, I belong to you. I belong to you. You belong to me. That's the real ego, real identity. I am yours is the real identity. So in this way, internally, this spiritual body has these faculties. In the mind, this is what happens. All these feelings, thinking, feeling, and willing is all like this. On the jivas, it will be like this. Great compassion. And want to give them Krishna prema despite whatever hurt is they would incur on these souls, great souls. That's the state. That's the spiritual mind. Yeah. And the intelligence is my Krishna, Tavaivasmi. And real identity. Yeah. Real identity. I belong to Krishna. Mamata to Krishna. This is the internal. The spiritual subtle body is made of these faculties of mind, intelligence, and real ego. That's what Haridas Thakura had. That's what that spiritual body was in action when he was being whipped in those marketplaces. So that is spiritual body. Yeah. And how did Thakur Mahasaya get that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. When the cup is emptied inside totally, and the nama given by Gaura Priyajana. So when that mercy of the Gaura Priyajana nama enters in this totally emptied cup, then what happened to Parikshit Maharaj will happen to us. That's how we get the spiritual body. In no other way. Now it's very clear how we get the spiritual body. There is no place for imagination. So this is bhakti that is given to us. When we get that spiritual body, then we will understand what Sripad Raya Ramananda, on what platform was he in, and what are those spiritual emotions that he was trying to bring out from those Devi Dasis. Then we will understand. When we sustain these marketplaces, beating of marketplaces with a spiritual body, then we will understand what Raya Ramananda was, how he was serving. That service we will understand. And when we get a spiritual body that can sustain this. Yeah, and one quick thing is, so to get that spiritual body that Srila Haridas Thakura had, and that I think is it is possible, and that's the whole point. The whole Raga Bhakti is about that. But in one sentence, what is to be said? Yeah, that is the iron has to be put in the fire. Without the nishta, where will be the ruchi? How can the iron be bent unless it is in the fire? So the nishta and ruchi are for those who are like, yes, I want to empty myself totally from within. I want to be filled with this. Who is eager to do that? Who has that laulya? Only they can come to these stages. That laulyam has to be there. That is the requisite and only requisite, because when this mind and intelligence, material mind and intelligence ego is being emptied from within, from a materialistic standpoint, it may look like, oh, great difficulty, I'm going through the pain, this body, this, all the things that we feel when we have to do a seva, when we have to commit for a seva, when the seva has to go on no matter what, what the body says. Body screams, mind screams, and intelligence, it plays its wicked role, and the ego, oh, what will it say? All those things, we have a little experience of it. Okay, all that will break and has to break. Emptying from within means conditions has to break. It may not be very pleasant when conditions break, but there is so much nectar and sweetness that we look forward to, that we don't even feel the pain. That we should understand. That's how Srila Haridas Thakur was just very blissful, even though it looked very painful from outside. When somebody, when a devotee understands how this is how the conditioning breaks, and when we understand that our focus should be on Ardha Pravritti, not the Anartha Nivritti, and when we have this great earnestness, desire and prayer, yes, please, this is what I'm looking for in bhakti, Daitava Pache Pache. That's the only way a spiritual body can be obtained. So that's from where we stand. Different states of that spiritual body. So what did we hear so far about the spiritual body of Rai Ramananda? Before that, how magnanimous is that these topics we are allowed to hear. We are only at the surface level of the ocean, but the subject matter is about the depth of the ocean, where Rai Ramananda Raya is serving. And that's one point. Second point is only when we empty ourselves totally, like from within, like Parikshit Maharaj, then it is the Sadhu Guru, Sri Guru fills that empty cup with the honey nectar, and that's how the spiritual body forms. And the third one is to understand the spiritual body of Sri Rai Ramananda. We have to understand the spiritual body of Srila Haridas Thakur. That's how the spiritual body is in action. And the next one was, so all this about the spiritual body is not an imagination, not a theory, but a possibility for any seeker, prayerful seeker. Let me put it this way. Prayerful seeker. It's a possibility. And we also heard about how that spiritual body is formed. And the next one, how one would feel. We heard that the conditions have to break and will break. They may not be very pleasant, but the focus is on Ardha Pravritti, because there will be the taste that we get from the Ardha Pravritti will help us sustain the breaking of the conditioning. That's how the journey goes when the spiritual body is being formed. That's all, dear devotees. Yes, Prabhu. Don't know what time it is. Wow, okay, not too bad. That's all from my side. Thank you. And I think questions were answered too, right?
Yes, Mataji. Very satisfactorily. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Especially for the point, we need to empty ourselves inside. Otherwise, that is the only way. Thank you for that example of Parikshit Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go with the shloka.
Yes, let's go.